Welcome into another episode of Pickup Lines. This is the talk show in a car, and you never know who's going to show up. We always appreciate the conversations, and today we're thrilled to have Bexar County Commissioner in Precinct 3, Grant Moody. And that alone is impressive, but you have so many more titles and other things about you that make you even more impressive. So first of all, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Appreciate that. Typically, I like to start at the beginning, and beginning for you does not start in San Antonio. It does not start in Texas, for that matter, does it?
Nope. I grew up in a very small town of about 2,500 people in central Kansas, about an hour east of Wichita.
Like Clark Kent.
No.
I was going to say, like, not Smallville, but a small town in Kansas.
Very
on
small.
A farm.
Yep.
Tell me about that life. What was the dynamic life? If you could paint the picture for your childhood in a small farm town in Kansas.
Yeah. It was the quintessential one stoplight town.
Yeah.
I graduated with a class of about 55.
You were the valedictorian, by the way.
I was. Small town.
Well, no, hey, I don't care. You're still the valedictorian.
But it was just a great place to grow up and live, where you had the same friends from when you were in kindergarten through 12th grade, same families. You did the same events together year after year. It was just a great childhood, and really enjoyed it. I had two brothers, one older, one younger.
Yeah.
Got to play all kinds of sports and activities growing up. It was just a lot of fun.
You look like you still could play college football, which we'll get to in a little bit. But, it feels like, and respectfully, completely opposite of San Antonio, Texas.
Well, obviously very different, although, they say big city, small town in San Antonio.
Right.
But no, that was a real small town with 2,500 people. But no, we obviously moved down here after I left active duty in 2013. And, have really enjoyed our time here and love San Antonio, and it's our second home now.
Yeah. So you worked your way, obviously had a successful high school run, played football for sure, and I'm sure you played other sports as well. But I guess the farm life, it's a lot of physical work. I would imagine that was excellent training for your sports career.
Well, yeah, we had some cattle. I had a small cow-calf operation.
I was going to say, you ran like a legit business, didn't you, with cows?
That was my first small business, a cow-calf operation.
What does that mean, by the way? Like, what are you doing?
So you have a herd of cows.
Okay.
Typically, you have a bull or two, and then every year you'll sell off the calves.
Okay.
And that's a cow-calf operation.
And it's cyclical, so you just do it over and over again every year. You make some money.
Yep.
Okay. And then it was time for you to go off to college. You ultimately went away to college to play football and everything. You got a scholarship, I'm assuming.
Well, at the Naval Academy, everything is there's no scholarships there, but obviously you're in uniform and you're serving as a member of the armed services.
So forgive my ignorance, and by the way, yes, the military service we'll get into as well. Did you go to the Naval Academy for the military, for the football, or for both?
No, I don't think you want to go to the Naval Academy or any service academy purely for, the sports opportunity.
I just didn't know.
Right?
I see what you're saying. I didn't know if they recruit like a traditional college. Obviously,
they do.
You're going for the military and you have that legacy in your family. But I didn't know if they like recruit like a Texas or an A&M would and those kinds of things.
They do, but I think to go there for the right reasons, you go there for the opportunity to serve, the opportunity to have a great education.
Right.
And then the football was just icing on the cake. And I did. I reached out to the coaching staff and everything else and told them I wanted to come there and be able to play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of walk-ons at the service academies, but, ultimately worked out for me.
Yeah. And so you get there. Were you homesick at all?
No, so I had, spent some time away from home already.
Yeah.
And, it's challenging, right? You have plebe summer, which is like 8 weeks of kind of military indoctrination and training. It's tough on everybody, right? Just like going to boot camp, basic training.
Sure.
But, you quickly get over that. You bond with your classmates, your company mates, and your teammates, and establish a new family.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. And was it a foregone conclusion? I think you're a fourth generation veteran from your family. Was it a foregone conclusion that you were going to do something in the military?
I wouldn't say a foregone conclusion, but clearly, when you have that much kind of military background in your family, it's an option, it's an opportunity, and I think it definitely helps open those doors.
Yeah,
you're thinking about them.
Right,
they're on the table for you from day one.
Yeah. So you get to the Naval Academy, you're doing football and everything, and I always like to ask, because I'm upfront with this, I did not serve, and I really don't come from a military family, if you will. So I'm always fascinated by that experience. If you can pull the curtain back, like what was that like for you? How do you explain what that is like? You're playing football, you're obviously making this military commitment. How do you describe that to a layman like me?
I don't know. It's really kind of an experience like none other, right? I mean, at the academy, you're going to a very challenging, academic, rigorous courses. You're taking weapons engineering, you're taking calculus 3, differential equations, chemistry.
Oh, my head hurts.
Oh, right. Really challenging academic load, and we're not talking about taking 12 hours and then playing football.
No,
talking about taking 18 to 21 hours at that level and playing college football against Notre Dame and Georgia Tech.
Correct.
And NC State.
And I'm guessing, forgive me, the football, let's be honest, at a lot of major universities is king and and generates the revenue for the other programs and gets the most attention. But I mean, at one of the academies, the military academies, I mean, the studies are right up there, if not more. The military service is right up there, if not more, than anything you do on the football field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're not meeting the requirements from a military training perspective or from an academic perspective, nobody's going to look the other way.
Yeah.
The expectations are you're either going to meet those standards or you're not going to be able to play. You're not going to.
And the standards are very, very high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you obviously met them. All right. Well, we're just getting started here with Grant Moody. Just fascinating stuff. Like I said, I'm always fascinated by that military experience, and he's got a lot more to talk about, and we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit on Pickup Lines. Don't go away. Hi, we're back on Pickup Lines here with Precinct 3 Bexar County Commissioner Grant Moody. So you are in office now for at least a couple more years, right?
3 more years.
Yes. Yeah. Have you thought about what you might want to do after that?
Well, I have. Actually, recently we've been exploring, some of the open congressional seats that are out there with the redistricting that took place here recently in Texas, both Texas 35 and then with Congressman Chip Roy deciding to run for Attorney General. Some unique opportunities. I've said, ultimately, is this the right race and the right time for me and my family? And we're trying to figure out and answer that question. But
because in the midst of all this, we talked about your military service and everything. You've got kids, you've got a wife.
I do.
Work-life balance.
It's challenging. With 3 kids and 3 different sports and going to different schools. Trying to shuttle kids around. Yeah, it makes it really challenging from just a logistics standpoint, right? They're getting to schools at different times, or you have tutoring in the morning, or you have practice in the morning, you have events after school. Right. My oldest daughter's in high school now, and she wants to go to events and be with her friends, but can't drive yet. So I'm totally with you. I've got twins right now that are sophomores, and I totally understand where you're coming from. So it's one day at a time at my house, as we like to say. Yeah. Let me get back to the military service. So you finish up at the Naval Academy. Was football beyond college at all an option? Not really. So I think I was kind of more built to play tight end, which is where I went to the academy planning to play tight end. Right. My sophomore year, I started a game at tight end, and then I had an ACL injury. When I came back, there was no tight end, so I ended up playing offensive guard for the rest of my time at the Naval Academy, and I was very undersized for a Division I offensive guard, let alone at the next level. So right, fair enough. Okay. So football wasn't meant to be, but you obviously went on to continue on with your military career, and you were deployed more than once. Yeah, so I went through the flight training program, the basic school for Marine Corps officers, and ended up in South Carolina, where the East Coast Marine Hornets are all based.
Right.
Deployed to Iraq with a squadron, deployed to Japan and Thailand, South Korea with a squadron, and then ultimately did one more deployment tied to an infantry battalion in Afghanistan.
So you're an F-18 pilot?
Mm-hmm.
And again, take me there as much as you can, just explaining what that's like. I mean, what kind of the range of emotions, what are some of the things that you're doing while you're there, and ultimately, how long were you there?
Just within the squadron.
Yeah.
So I was on active duty for 10 years, but the training pipeline to be able to get into an operational squadron is quite lengthy. You can imagine. Right?
Yeah.
You go through primary, you go through advanced, you go through carrier qualifications, you go through for the fleet replacement squadron.
Right.
So there's really 3 kind of steps before you actually get to a squadron to deploy. And there's all that training that takes place in that. And the other thing within the Marine Corps, within our squadrons, we don't have the same kind of support structure that some of the other services do. So as a Marine officer, I'm a pilot, but I'm also, the airframes officer or the power line officer or the schedules officer. So you have all these other collateral duties too that come with that. So it's challenging. It's a big undertaking.
Were you married at the time already?
I was not when I started in the squadron. Soon got engaged and then got married halfway through my first squadron.
Because I often think about the significant others and the kids of military members. And I know you just went off. You made headlines not too long ago. You were sent off because you're in the reserves, right? Mm-hmm. And you went off for a little while and had to leave your family. So that's still happening, even though you're a county commissioner.
Yeah. Well, I think probably the most challenging deployment was my last deployment when I went with 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines to Marja, Afghanistan. But my oldest, Paige, was 6 months old at the time.
Yeah.
So I had to leave to go to Afghanistan for 7 months, miss her first Christmas, first birthday. It was tough. It was tough on my wife. It was tough on our whole family. But, in the reserves, most of my deployments, my training are typically shorter length.
Yeah.
But those active duty deployments, they're tough. When you talk about 7 months, or Army, they do 13 months.
Sure,
I don't even know.
I mean, I can't even comprehend a few days away from my family, much less months. But then you have to know that is a possibility, and it gets back to the wives and the husbands and the family members that know that this is a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, it's just part of service.
Yeah.
I said that with continuing to serve in the reserves. This is always going to be a possibility, and you have to be willing to step up. If something occurs and the country needs you and calls you, you have to be willing to go.
Yeah. In the midst of all this, I mean, education obviously was not too far away from you. You went to A&M and got was it a master's degree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Master's degree in statistics. So
because you didn't have enough math in your life? Yeah, seriously. Tell me about that decision and that experience.
Well, at the time I wasn't sure, what my post active duty, career was going to look like. I'd done well with math and academics at the Naval Academy, where I majored in quantitative economics.
Oh, Grant. Good Lord. Okay.
So the statistics masters at A&M seemed to make sense, but I wasn't really sure. I wanted to get a master's degree before transitioning out.
Right. So you've always been a natural with numbers, and
which is what I try to bring to Commissioner's Court sometimes.
Okay. With budgeting and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the data. Bring the data. I've joked about having the little sign that says, "In God we trust, all others bring data." Because you can come in and tell us whatever you want in Commissioner's Court.
Sure.
Bring some stats, bring some information, bring data, bring slides, so we can actually make decisions that are data-based for the county. It
is interesting. I don't know that I've ever thought of it that way, where you have somebody in elected office who you're dealing with. You guys just passed what is the $1 billion budget or whatever, that it probably serves you a lot of good to have this level of education when it comes to those things.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's education, probably the education and the business background, right?
Yep,
So
sure.
my time at USAA and financial services and over at
Valero
Energy,
yeah.
being able to see like what that looks like with a board, with senior leadership, and how they make decisions,
right?
How they do strategic planning. I try to bring that to Commissioner's Court and say, hey, this is what good looks like in the corporate world. There's a lot of this that we could bring into how we operate as local government that would make us better.
Now, was it the military service that brought you to San Antonio, or did you choose to come here another way?
Well, I'd spent time in flight training down in South Texas in Kingsville.
Okay.
So I'd spent some time down here before. I also did an internship at USAA.
There you go.
But ultimately, it was because we wanted to come here.
Yeah.
And while I was in my MBA program, had an opportunity to get a job here at USAA as a director in the strategic analytics team, and it was a great fit both professionally and for my family, and so we came down. And
you've planted roots and plan to be here for a while.
I think so.
Okay, not going back to Kansas, ladies and gentlemen. We can report here. All right, we have a few more minutes here with the County Commissioner Grant Moody, Precinct 3. We'll come back. Quick break. We'll be right back here on Pickup Lines. A few more minutes here with Grant Moody, the Bexar County Commissioner in Precinct 3. Military service is one thing. Running for office and that public service to me is something else, next level. Are there similarities there, parallels between the two? Maybe the military training has helped serve you in this capacity as county commissioner?
Well, I mean, I think there's still the sacrifices that come with it.
Yes.
The challenges on the family.
Right.
Whether you're going on a deployment or annual training, or whether you are, going to fundraising events and going to club luncheons and going to state conventions, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So you're still going to have to make those investments in time that are going to take time away from your family. And that's one of the sacrifices I think that comes with serving. But so there's definitely some overlap, but they're very different, areas of public service.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, since you're sitting here in the car with me, because we're sitting in downtown San Antonio right now, and the county has a big role in what's going to happen with Project Marvel and things that have unfolded as it relates to the Spurs and those kinds of things. And I wonder if you just have an opinion or any updates on that, because there's an election obviously in November. And I don't know if you have personal or professional thoughts on what this all could mean for not only the city, but the county, Bexar County as a whole.
Yeah, it's complicated, right? All the negotiations that have taken place or not taken place. Yeah. But, there's a few things that I would point to. First of all, and I've always said up front, right? The Spurs are an important part of the city of San Antonio, our fabric, our culture, and they have a significant economic benefit to our community, right? We don't want to lose the Spurs. However, we also, my role as a county commissioner, I represent, 550,000 constituents,
right?
Taxpayers who want to, I have a fiduciary responsibility to them,
right,
to negotiate on their behalf in the best interests of Bexar County. And so that's the mindset I took going into all these discussions.
Yeah.
I mean, the challenge is you have these trilateral negotiations with the city and the Spurs, the county and the city, and the county and the Spurs. And, you got 16 different elected officials that are in the mix there.
Right.
I just wanted to push back a little bit more and be a good negotiator on behalf of my residents.
Got it.
And my taxpayers.
Okay, very good. As we wind down here, a couple more things. Man, you got a lot on your plate, obviously, and busy, and we talk about work-life balance and everything. What do you like to do for fun? When do you just get away from all of this and this? What do you do for fun?
Well, this weekend I took my youngest, my son Kyle, up to the Navy football Tulsa game.
There you go.
That was fun. I got to catch up with my brothers. They were back
that's
there
awesome.
As well, and enjoyed it. We try to go out to Colorado sometimes, beat the summertime heat.
Yeah.
Do some hiking. We did that here a couple months ago.
in that high elevation and everything.
Yeah,
that thin air up there, and you get to work. Well, you're in pretty good shape anyway.
I mean, I like to work out too when I can. I need to just find a better way to build it in my schedule. Let me know if you can figure that out.
I'm the last person on earth you need to be asking about working out. I can thank you I appreciate the thought, but I can point you in the right direction.
All right.
I couldn't help but notice the fashion statement you're making with your bracelet here.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind showing us what you have? I mean,
No.
that's pretty good.
Just
looks handmade.
They are. My two youngest made these 2 bracelets for me, so I've been wearing them here the last few weeks.
Okay.
My son made one that said "Best Son." I think it was for him, and then he gave it to me.
Okay, I thought maybe it's not for you. It's for him, just to remind you.
And then my daughter, who's 12 now, Caitlin, gave me this other bracelet that just says "Dad."
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I would think with all the titles you have, county commissioner and veteran and all this stuff, I mean, Dad's got to be number one, right? Husband, of course, but I mean, Dad.
Yeah. Dad and husband, you got to prioritize family, and whether, we already talked about the sacrifices that come with public service, but when you're home, being intentional about carving out that time with your family, because I mean, it's you hear it all the time, but you don't get those years back.
No, and it goes by like that, as you know.
Yep.
As you know.
Yeah.
When you're ready to announce your run for whatever it is later on, just don't forget about me. You can come and do it right here if you want.
We won't. We'll come right back here.
I love it. Well, I know you've got appointments and stuff to get to. I really appreciate the time. I've enjoyed watching you do your thing in recent years, and wish you continued success moving forward. And first and foremost, thank you so much for your military service.
Well, thank you.
Grant Moody. There he is. Bexar County Commissioner in Precinct 3. Of course, there's 4 county commissioners and the Judge Sakai. He is Precinct 3. Grant Moody, we appreciate his time. And we appreciate you watching Pickup Lines. Another episode is in the books. Until next time, I'm Ernie Zuniga. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.